Welcome to my channel. In the dystopian future depicted in the silo, men and women must adhere to stringent rules to divide before ascending to higher ground. They go beneath in a monstrous storehouse. At the point when old relics from the past show up, little fragments of vulnerabilities begin to show up regardless of the outside having all the earmarks of being a dystopian no man's land. The 10th episode of the sci-fi series, Storehouse on Apple Television Besides, named Outside, focuses on Juliette Nichols' response to watching the video shot by Jane Carmody that portrays the rest of the world as rich and green. Bernard and Robert Sims become rankled when she begins playing the recording on the presentations inside the storehouse. The guardians of the silo make a decision that jeopardizes Juliette's life after their unsuccessful attempts to capture her. With various vague, unexpected developments and disclosures, the enrapturing episode reaches a delightful resolution. If you'd like a more in-depth look at the situation, let us share our thoughts on episode 10's conclusion. At the beginning of Outside, Juliette Nichols sets out to display a video of the outside world in the silo, which is also lush, green, and livable. She requests assistance from Patrick, and a member of the IT staff follows suit. In spite of her progress in review the video, Bernard rapidly guarantees that it is done being circulated. Juliette tries to escape the law through the vertical passageways of the silo, but Bernard Nivitz realizes what she is doing and sends Sims and other police officers to find her. Juliette is tossed objects by the officials as they attempt to inspire her to surrender, yet her companions figure out how to save her from the base. While Juliette is recuperating at Martha Walker's house, Knox, Juliette's former boss, calls the judicial to inform them of her whereabouts. Knox does not want the police to use her name to carry out raids and cause havoc in the lives of other citizens. Just before being taken into custody, Juliette discusses the department's heat tapes with Walk. The people living in the silo then witness Juliette being taken into custody by Bernard and Sims. Following her visit to Carla, Martha looks for heat tapes. Bring Juliette to the monitoring room to demonstrate to her what actually took place with George Wilkins, Bernard, and Sims. To keep his specialists from tormenting Wilkins to uncover the hard drive he stowed away for them to find, Juliette sees the security tape of Wilkins committing suicide. Juliette's father, Pete Nichols, visits his daughter at the prison and provides her with meals. After Pete has left, Shirley goes to see her and brings her some food from Walk, alongside a letter illuminating the previous sheriff that there is bounty more intensity tape accessible. All billings is examined by Sims concerning visiting Juliette's level. The security chief admits that he has noticed that the deputy sheriff is shaking hands, which is a sign that he is ill. Instead of letting Billings go, Sims decides to keep him in his position. After being kidnapped by Bernard and Sims, Juliette is sent outside the silo so that they can stop a mutiny inside the facility. At the point when Juliette is made to leave the storehouse, she tracks down an exquisite, troubled climate. When she realizes that the birds in the sky fly exactly like the birds in the video that Jane Carmody took, she realizes that the picture of a vivid world is just a simulation that suits Pfizer presence. The Measure show has been portraying the dead and forsaken genuine world on the grounds that the beautiful world is basically a reenactment. It is almost certainly the case that the rest of the world is inhabitable given that every individual who left the storehouse except for Juliette died after breathing the air outside the sanctuary, especially Holston and his better half Allison. The storehouse's makers probably planned the reenactment to bamboozle the people who strolled outside to clean the camera, feeling that on the off chance that the inhabitants did likewise, they would watch a renewed world. By forcing the occupants to recognize their establishment, the founders must have been content that they could see the desolate outside world sufficiently. Those who have exited the silo have never survived due to the noxious air outside. Whether it was Holstein or Allison, the survivors from the storehouse who figured out how to escape before Juliette left the association had previously died. However, Juliette is still alive and successfully reaches the ridge. Her survival is ensured by the thermal tape that was applied to her outfit. It appears that the holes in the suits designed for those about to leave the silo could allow harmful gases from the outside world to enter and kill those wearing them. Holstein, Allison, or any other person who rose up out of the storehouse before Juliette